What up? What up, though? What's going on? What's going on? Mo Green, Mo Grizzly, the grizzled veteran, grizzled veteran on my way to work right now. I got my camera like at a different spot. My apologies if the video looks kind of crazy. But I keep it mounted to my vent because it gets so hot that if I mount it to the window, my phone overheats and like a lot of apps shut down and stuff like that. So you're gonna be, you know what I mean? You're gonna be watching me from down here or whatever. But I wanted to touch on this topic really quick before I get into work, as I do sometimes. You know, quick little 15-minute rant or so. That's about how long it's gonna take to get to work. But the biggest craze right now that's going on, you know what I'm saying? A week after Father's Day. I hate when people just turn in front of me with no signal. That shit is whack. But anyway, was a young man brought some food to his child, to his baby mother's house, right? The only issue is he only bought food for his child, and his baby mother had 4 other children. So she got upset, filmed everything on Instagram or whatever platform, social media platform she did. Talked about how he ain't shit and why he ain't bring food for all the kids in the house. Got mad, videotaped it, and slammed the food, like basically forsook her one child's food because they ain't bring enough for everybody else. Slam that shit on the ground. Now, I think it's like my opinion, I think it's petty on both sides, you know, especially like if you know you got a ratchet ass baby mother and this is how she reacts, then you got to move a little bit more strategically in order to maintain the peace. Kind of remixed it with the homie Javon Clark, the modern masculine man. I think he's from South Carolina. He's really popular on Facebook or whatever. But he was basically saying, you know, as a man, if you have children, your main objective is to take care of your children and try to maintain the peace. And sometimes you got to do things. You got to go a little bit the extra step in order to maintain said peace. So if you got a crazy ass baby mother that's extremely petty with things like this, you know what I mean? You got to be a little bit more strategic if you're going to bring a gift or food or things of that nature, because that child has other brothers and sisters. The brothers and sisters may be older, and the brothers and sisters may feel some type of resentment if you only bring something specifically for that child in front of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? They might extort them, take the food. These are Jerron's words. These aren't my words, but I agree with that. But I'm going on a totally different angle beyond that. I'm just laying the foundation real quick. So he's supposed to maintain the peace. So he fucked up by essentially just this. It wasn't that he was trying to be a good dad, but if he knows that she was ratchet like that, she was going to react that way, he had to know that. You know, you made a baby with her. This ain't nothing you did. This isn't nothing. This isn't anything that he wasn't familiar with. He knew what time it was. He knew how crazy she was. That's why he ain't with her no more. Already knew how she get down. But like Javon was saying, he could have bought, you know, like a small pizza, you know, a little pizza from Caesars, Little Caesars, cost like $10 or whatever, $15 tops. Okay, you spend an extra $5, whatever. All the little kids happy. You maintain the peace. Sometimes you got to invest in your peace. You know, people invest and they buy security systems. People invest and they buy insurance. People invest and they buy weapons. You know, people invest and they get full coverage so that if some dumb motherfucker crash into you and they don't got no insurance, you're still covered. So sometimes you got to pay that extra money as an investment, you know, in terms of insurance. And what he did was basically like driving around. What he did by buying one Burger King meal or whatever, one McDonald's meal for his child, knowing he in a house full of, knowing that his child has a bunch of brothers and sisters that live with him from other fathers, and the mother's a ratchet bitch. That's like him only just having liability insurance and getting crashed into by somebody who has no insurance. Now you can't get your shit fixed. And you knew what time it was. He should have had the proper insurance, meaning just a couple extra dollars. It don't cost much to feed a bunch of kids, man. It really doesn't, yo. Like four or five kids. Yes, it's not his responsibility, but it is his responsibility to maintain the peace and the sanctity of his child as much as he can, being a custodial parent. We already know why she was petty. She wilded out. But some bitches and ghetto motherfuckers is like alligators. Alligators they're gonna react and be how they are. You know, if you're walking around in a swamp you know what I'm saying, without the protective gear or the protective training, there's a chance that an alligator gonna bite the shit out of you, y'all. They don't know no type of etiquette. They don't have any type of compassion. They don't have any type of reasoning. That's what they do. You walking around, you know what I'm saying, with your legs rolled up through the swamp, and then the alligator bitch is like, well, why you bite me? Because you didn't have that stick that alligator trainer be having. He had the stick, he bat him off. You didn't have any chicken to throw into the alligator's mouth. You put yourself in a precarious environment, and that's what happened. That's all his fault. He had total control over that situation. 4 for 4 costs $4, man. 4 for 4. At Wendy's, you can get a burger, fries, nuggets, and a soda for $4. You multiply that times 4. That's only $16. What a Happy Meal or some shit like that. What is it? I don't know the cost. I don't fuck with fast food because that shit is poison. And we gonna get to that in a second. Because parents giving like their kids fast food all the time, and we making such a big deal over this poison. I could see if it was actually something good or something better, you know what I mean? Like Five Guys or something like that. It's still fast food, but it's still a higher level than McDonald's. But anyway, could have got 4 for 4s, 4 burgers, 4 nuggets, 4 fries, and 4 sodas. They would have had a feast. Them kids wouldn't have even probably been able to finish all that, you know? And everybody would have been happy. You would have been in good standing with the other children, right? So when the children get older, the kids remember people that treat them good. So when the kids get older, he's in a favorable light with them. So when he's old and a senior citizen, who knows how he would have influenced one of those children in a positive way, so that when he old, they'll take care of him. But sometimes you got to plant seeds for the long haul, man. Cats be thinking like on the short game, man. You got to plant seeds for the long haul, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the woman is petty in this situation, and the alligator gonna be an alligator. But I put more of the fault on the man, because the man is supposed to be the logical one. He's supposed to be the one that's more strategic to set things up to circumvent shit and avoid this shit blowing up the way it is, man. You can't afford $16? Come on, man. Yeah, she's petty. She's an asshole for that. But he could totally circumvent that. You know what I'm saying? Whenever we go through problems in our life and things happen and calamities, like a lot of people don't want to take accountability and look at themselves and take the blames for what they did or what they could have did differently for the outcome to be entirely different. Even if it's the other person's fault, sometimes we still put ourselves in certain situations where we could have avoided that whole thing. You could be a perfect driver, you could be driving, never break no traffic laws or whatever, but you get into like a major car accident and it's the other person's fault. But if you don't have a license, you don't have a registration, and you don't have insurance, well, first of all, even though you're a great driver and it wasn't your fault, you shouldn't have been in that situation. You shouldn't have been behind that wheel in the first place, because you didn't have all your paperwork and your ducks in a row. So yes, I mean, that person ran the red light and they crashed into you. That person was drunk and they crashed into you. That person was tailgating and they rear-ended you. But ultimately, it's still partially your fault, if not mostly your fault, because you should have not been in that situation in the first place. And the same thing with this individual. He knows his baby mother's ratchet, and you know she always doing, probably stunting for the gram, looking for any moment to blow up, even if it's at the expense of her children, exploiting her children and exploiting her family dynamic. He knows how she is. So let's play the game. Spend that extra $5 for all the kids. We get the 4 for 4s. I think they got a 5 for 5 now at Wendy's. You know? But regardless, I put the blame mainly on him, because he could have been man enough to circumvent all that. So we ain't gonna talk about that. My thing is, I still think they're both terrible parents for feeding their children that poison, man. If you can, I mean, yeah, as a snack here and there, you want to give the kids a treat. I get that, man. But it's certain, and I don't know the situation with these parents, but I'm willing to bet if they're gonna make such a big deal about fucking fast food, then this is something that they hold in high esteem, and this is something that they feed their children all the fucking time, man. You could literally make a call to a Five Guys, a Jake's Wayback Burger, or your local diner. If you want to feed your kid, take you about 10 minutes to get to the restaurant, call up the restaurant, have them prepare a nice burger that ain't no meat produced from a tube like at McDonald's or whatever, that doesn't make you sick. Any fast food I eat, I get sick almost immediately. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, not Subway. Subway is okay. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, that's like the evil fast food holy trinity. Dairy Queen burgers are pretty good. Like they have not graduated to the terrible chemicals that the major fast food chains break into. I guess when your fast food chain is so big and the demand is so high and there's not enough cows, there's not enough beef production to output what the demand is, then that's when you start using artificial means. So I get that, but that stuff makes me sick. It makes me sick as a 43-year-old man every time I eat it. So I can imagine what is it doing to your children, man, when you give them this bullshit. And this is what we arguing over. This is what we fighting over. If you give your children fast food every time you're giving them poison, man, you got to feed your body. You got to feed, there's three things. You got to feed your body, you got to feed your mind, and you got to feed your spirit. Positive things every single day. And if you ain't gonna do that with yourself, at least do it with your kids, man. Give them positive things to read in the morning, positive affirmations. That's feeding the mind. Teaching them how to meditate and focus and have positive aspirations in order to elevate in a spiritual sense. That's feeding the spirit. Giving them nice nourishment and foods, water. Giving them water every day, fruits every day, vegetables every day, protein every day. That's feeding the soul. I mean, not feeding the soul, but feeding the body. But we feed them, thank you. I appreciate it, Nita. But we feed them all this, we feeding them poison, man. And this is what we arguing over. Yes, he was petty for just bringing 1 meal knowing that his wife or his ex-baby mamas was ratchet. His ex-girlfriend, his baby mamas was ratchet. And she was petty for making a public spectacle on Instagram about that. But besides that, man, they both terrible parents because we literally just arguing over feeding our kids poison. Nobody's talking about that, man. That's the bigger issue, bigger than anything. We shouldn't be giving our kids this food, yo. I got nephews, you know. Whenever I take them out, even when I used to take them to the movies and stuff like that, once in a while I get soda, but a lot of times I would buy them water. Or, you know what I'm saying, I say take a couple sips of soda, but like, nah, you can't drink all this, yo. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about the real issue of the poison that we giving our children, man. We giving them poison in that video, right? They gave them poison in the form of food. They're arguing, she is literally arguing why he didn't bring more poison to the house for the kids. She is literally arguing over why he didn't bring more poison over to the house. She should be thankful that he only brought poison for 1 kid and not 3 or 4 or 5. Because at least the other children are spared from having the poison that he brought over in the first place. And he's terrible for giving his kid poison. Giving his child poison, acting like it's nourishment. And at the same time being petty because he knows she was going to be mad because he didn't bring enough poison for all the kids. Y'all not hearing me, man. This shit is deep, yo. So you're arguing over feeding them poison. You're feeding them negative information, arguing over giving them poison and making a spectacle on the gram. And then you're feeding them negative energy, negative spirituality at the same time, being a poor representation of how a man acts to a woman and how a woman acts towards a man. You wondering why a lot of these folks don't know how to deal in relationships with the opposite sex? Because look at what they have to look up to. Look at what they have to watch. Look at what they have to emulate. Now them kids watching all that, and you know, maybe, I don't know if she had daughters, but she probably got daughters in the house, so you know what? They gonna emulate mama. They gonna emulate mama, man. You know what I'm saying? They gonna emulate mama. And then you got sons that's probably gonna resent women because of that shit. You feeding them bad information, man. That was a terrible experience, a terrible display, way beyond him just only bringing food for the kid, man. Literally arguing over feeding these kids poison at the same time you feeding their minds poison with your actions, man. Y'all ain't hearing me though, man. If you feed your children fast food and arguing over fast food and that kind of garbage and that kind of poison, man, you was a terrible parent, man. Like I said, a snack every now and again, but it should never be some big argument over something that literally destroys your body, causes diabetes, causes high blood pressure, causes cholesterol, causes poverty, because in the long run, you know, you're going to have so many medical issues that you're not going to be able to take care of yourself. That fast food, that shit make me lethargic. It slows me down, man. Takes away motivation, man. I'm kind of mad because I realized I had my air conditioner on this whole time. And y'all probably didn't hear a damn thing I said. But I can easily freestyle and do this shit again. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.